When it comes to protein supplementation, there's a lot of options out there. Let's talk about 7 nutritional and practical differences that you might consider. The first thing I'm going to do every time is search for whey protein.
Wait, hold on a minute. Why does it have to be whey?
Okay, yes. That is a great question, and probably the first decision you'll make if you haven't already. The truth is there are a lot of great options. Whey protein comes from milk, is easily digested, and has the highest content of leucine, an amino acid with a unique involvement in muscle protein synthesis. Casein comes from milk as well, and takes a little bit longer to digest. Soy and pea are perfectly fine plant-based options. All of these have sufficient quantities of leucine, and while pea protein isn't technically a complete protein, that's a relatively useless term, meaning it doesn't meet a defined quantity of every amino acid. So have something else for dinner, and you'll be just dandy. Contrary to many claims, it's all great protein and won't make much of a difference. But I do choose whey because of its availability, and like many of you, I'm sure I'll take any edge I can get. Once I'm browsing my options, the second thing I'll consider is the price tag. Pretty straightforward, but keep in mind that price is relative to quantity, and you might have to dig a bit deeper to see how many servings with how much protein you're actually getting per cost. After finding a potential candidate, I'm heading to the nutrition information and ingredients for our third and, in my opinion, most important consideration between your options. That's extra fats or carbs. Common carbohydrates could be maltodextrin or corn syrup solids, and fats could be things like MCT powder or creamers. Some powders like mass gainers are absolutely loaded with this garbage. There's nothing necessarily wrong with these, but if you are watching calories, there's certainly something to be aware of. And even if you do want the calories, you can probably save money by having a bowl of cereal or even a glass of Kool-Aid with your protein instead of whatever the supplement companies are trying to sell you. Personally, I avoid additives for nutritional versatility. Also, they can give weird textures, and I want to pay for my protein, but nothing else. The fourth thing you might consider is how the protein is processed. All powders start from a whole food source. In the case of whey, that's milk. The manufacturing process keeps the whey and gets rid of most of the other milk stuff. Concentrate is the loosest filtering process that leaves a small amount of milk stuff still present, including a small amount of carbohydrate, lactose, as well as milk fat. Isolate has less milk stuff. Milk is a very good food anyway. When you buy an isolate, you are paying more for them to remove more of it. The claim is that it's more easily digested, but you will probably never know the difference, unless you are lactose intolerant, in which case you might have better luck with an isolate. Personally, I love lactose. You can also find partially hydrolyzed options, usually called hydrolysate. This means they've started chemically digesting it for you, but you still have to finish digesting it, and I promise you will never know the difference.
It's also more expensive.
The fifth and last thing you might look for, at least before making your purchase, is the presence of artificial sweeteners. In particular, acesulfame potassium and sucralose are incredibly common. I'm telling you this because, one, some people don't like the taste they give, and they might even find some of the powders too sweet, and two, some people believe that artificial sweeteners will harm you. If that's you, I'm not looking to crack open that can, I'm just letting you know they are present.
All right, I'm just about to upload this video, but I wanted to throw this in last minute. You're gonna see a bunch of other garbage on there like 8-hour protein or super anabolic formula. I hate to break it to you, but for the most part, protein is protein, okay? If I haven't talked about it up to this point, it's because it's a marketing gimmick, and I highly advise you focus on the 5 things that I have talked about so far.
Now that you've made your purchase, prepare for some completely unpredictable and sometimes devastating differences between powders. You might have already discovered that not everything mixes well with water, milk, or anything else. Personally, I use a hand blender and I've never had any problems, but if you're using the old shaker, you will sometimes have problems, and if you're stirring with a spoon, you will absolutely have problems.
Yum, just the way I like it.
Nobody likes protein clumps. Too bad. You can either up your mixing game or try a different powder. Frequently, online reviews and whatnot will warn you about this. And the last, but actually one of the more important things, at least for me, is taste. Reviews can help here too, but people do have different preferences, especially regarding the presence of artificial sweeteners. As someone who's tried literally hundreds of different protein powders, let me give you my 2 all-time favorites. The first and landslide winner is Isopure's Dutch Chocolate. This is a bit on the pricier side, but it's an extremely low-calorie isolate that tastes like actual gourmet hot cocoa. The sweetness and flavor is subtle and real. If someone handed me a warm glass of this on Christmas Eve not telling me what it is, I would legitimately be delighted. And my second favorite is going to be Muscle Milk's 100% whey chocolate flavor. This is actually one of the cheapest options available, but it still has an excellent nutritional profile and a flavor that reminds me of marshmallows. As a heads up though, you can definitely taste that this one is artificially sweetened if that bothers you. Okay, I hope you feel more confident choosing your powders now. It can certainly take a few tries to find ones you really love, but at least from a nutritional standpoint, now you know what you're looking for. Feel free to leave me any questions or comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and peace out.